I'm having an existential crisis about my books. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back. Today, I'm having an existential crisis about my books. So I have been going through all of my stuff. I'm very, very good at getting rid of things. I like going through my closet periodically and getting rid of clothes that don't fit or I don't like anymore. I like going through like my dishes because you start to collect cups. I like going through my holiday decor items. Like I am pretty decent at going through items and throwing away or giving away what is not needed. Except when it comes to books. I hold on to them for a very long period of time. Now, there is absolutely nothing wrong with having a lot of books and collecting a lot of books. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for this purpose, I want my bookshelf to reflect me and house books that I really enjoy, that I think I'm going to reread, that I made a very special connection with, and I just was going through and I was like, should I get rid of books that when I look at them right now in this moment, I don't think I'm ever going to reread. Like I enjoyed them, but I don't know if I'll ever reread them. For example, a pair of books that is causing this crisis is The Daughter of the Pirate King duology by Trista Levenseller. I read these for Scallywagathon very recently. Enjoyed both of them. The first one got a 3.5 out of 5 and the second one got a 4 out of 5, I believe, from me. But I was like, I don't think I'm gonna reread these. But I did read these so recently, so I could be in the mood to reread them years in the future. Who knows? So I am keeping those as of right now. But I do, the culmination of my existential crisis, which is, can you really have an existential crisis about a physical thing? I don't really know, but that's what I'm calling it, is that I did cull through my bookshelves and I am doing an unhaul of some of the books that I really don't think I want to own anymore. So this is the point of the video. My rambling has been just to sort of let you know where my mind is at the moment. I still have a lot of books. I'm still keeping, I pretty much have two like full-size 5-shelf bookshelves, and I'm keeping my like aesthetic bookshelf in the living room. Like this isn't like I'm getting rid of all my books book haul. This is just kind of like I went through my shelves and I want to get rid of these books. But also, I'm having an existential crisis about books. So here we are. I don't really know how else to explain it. I keep looking at my bookshelves. I don't really know how else to explain it other than the fact that I want my bookshelf to reflect me and I don't want to hoard things that I don't personally enjoy anymore or find enjoyment from, or I don't know how to explain it. I'm unhauling books. I'm getting some room on the shelves. If you love owning every single book that you've read, good or bad, that's on you. I don't want to own books that I didn't like. That's just my personal philosophy, and it definitely reduces a lot of clutter in my life, not all the clutter. But I think once I actually physically unhaul these, because I've been holding on to a lot of them for a while, they're still in my room, even though they're in this bag. I think once I physically unhaul them, I'll feel a lot better, but now that they're like still here, but off my shelves, they're still taking up mind space too. I'm in a weird brain day. In case you guys couldn't tell, I'm just gonna go ahead and show you. And actually, some of these are DVDs, and then some of these are Xbox games, because my Xbox 360 literally will only play Skyrim anymore. So I'm thinking about trying to get an Xbox One, and the games that my Xbox 360 specifically isn't playing, I'm pretty sure still work. So I'm going to try and donate those. I guess I could show you those too at the end, but let's just finally get into this. The first book I have here is Eliza. The first book I have here is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. I bought this at the height of the hype for this book. I do kind of still have an intention to read this, but I think I'm just going to get it on audiobook or get it from the library. I got this from my used bookstore, so I'm just going to give it back. Waste of money, I know, but in my heart, when I look at my bookshelves, this was one of the ones that popped out to me of never picking this up. or not picking this up next year. Like, I really just want to have a manageable TBR for next year, for 2019. And so this one's gonna go, but I'm not saying never on this book, if that makes sense. I'm just gonna get it off my shelves. Next, we have Empress of a Thousand Skies by Eliza. This is a young adult sci-fi that I tried to get into. The premise sounds really good, but it has pretty iffy reviews, and it's also pretty short. That's what I've heard is like the worst part of it, is that there's not enough to tell the story. So I'm gonna get rid of this one. It's just, I tried to get into it a few different times. Not a fan of the writing or where the story was going, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. Next, we have The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. This is another booktube buy where I just heard so many people say it that I was like, oh, gonna get this one. But magical realism isn't really my cup of tea. I don't generally reach for magical realism books, and it is my understanding that that's what this is, so I'm gonna give this to a better home. Next, we have I'll Meet You There by Heather Demetrios. I've had this book on my shelf for about 3 years now, maybe 2 years, and I haven't picked it up yet. That's the reason why I'm getting rid of it. I haven't picked it up. It's been 2 years at least, and I haven't picked this up, so goodbye. We have Warcross by Marie Lu, which I actually still have a bookmark. When this came out in last year, yeah, when this came out in 2017, I picked it up and I read 70 pages of it. It was fine. I don't think I'm going to finish this book though. There's no particular reason, which is like the most frustrating thing to tell you guys. There's no particular reason why I never finished this book. It's just I never finished this book. So in my opinion, that's a good reason to get rid of it and give it to a new home. And maybe eventually if I want to pick it back up, I will give it a go with a library copy. Along a similar vein, we have Unearthed by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I picked this up again, like Warcross, the week of its release. I got about, I think, 130 pages into it. Put it down because I was traveling, I think, and I switched to an audiobook, and I never picked it up again. It's literally been probably January, or I think this was released in January. It's probably been since January. It's November now, in case you didn't know. And I don't care. That sounds bad, but I just don't. This just wasn't what I wanted out of the premise of this book. There was a lot of insta-love and just not really Indiana Jones in space, which is what I wanted. It was more love in space. So, bye. We have my one probably most controversial unhaul, and that is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I gave up on this. I got the audiobook. I don't even know how far I got into it. Maybe like a third of the way into it, and I didn't like it. Oh, I know, I'm like the worst. I may give it another try, but if I do again, like, I don't need to own this. So I'm gonna get rid of it. I remember really not liking the writing, so it's very much like at the beginning especially, it's like very structured sentences. So it's like, the girl does not move. She stays perfectly still with her hands folded in her lap. Her gaze is fixed downward, focused on her boots that do not quite touch the floor. There is a small scuff on one toe. The seal enveloped hangs from the... like, something about the writing just did not connect with me. It just was so weird. I don't know how to describe it. It's like, the girl stares at her teacup. Like, the girl looks up at him again. And it eventually switches into not like the girl, the boy. It switches into using pronouns, but it stays in present tense, and that might be what I'm not enjoying. I don't know. I'm not into it. I'm gonna get rid of it. Then we have The Mountain Story by Lori Lansons. This is an adult fiction novel that I think is a thriller. that I purchased a long time ago, I think in 2015, and I haven't gotten to it yet. I don't know anything about it. I think I read the synopsis at the point and was like, yeah, books, haul-in books, woo-woo. So this is gonna go to a better home. That's all I have to say about that. All right, next we have a series that falls in a similar vein to the Daughter of the Pirate King series, and that is I enjoyed this, but I don't think I'm ever gonna reread it, and that is the Stalking Jack the Ripper, Hunting Prince Dracula. I don't know what this series is called, Stalking Jack the Ripper. I read the first one for Spooktober last year, I think. Have not gotten to this one. I've heard horrendous things about the third one. Now, I own these books on Audible, so I'm good to go. I don't need to own the physical copies. I'm not going to read the physical copies. I'm probably not going to reread Stalking Jack the Ripper. I still do want to complete this series, but it's just taking up space on my shelf that I could use for other books that I like more, so here we are. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There were 10 books in that unhaul that I'm really happy with. I may have a few more coming soon because if you guys did not know, I'm doing that thing where I watch old hauls, and if I haven't read those books, I have to read them before the end of the year, and I still have, I think, 3 books on that list for the next month and a half, so we'll see if we get those done. If not, I have to unhaul them. LOL. But this is it for now, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you kind of understand what I'm going through. Let me know if you're going through the same thing. I'm feeling good about getting rid of some of these books. The thing is, also, pro tip for unhauling books is take them off your shelf for a while. Like, I put them in this bag with my, used bookstore on it, and I just take, I got this from my used bookstore, it's called McKay's, and I ferry books to McKay's in that bag. So whenever I take something off my shelf and put it in the bag, so I don't see it on the shelf anymore, and if I don't miss it or like look for it, reach for it in like a month, I think that's a good sign that you're like okay to unhaul it. If this is something that you're trying to do. That's just like my pro tip for unhauling here in my existential crisis state. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys soon with another video soon. Goodbye!